So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to move on for our next technical session with the theme of new business avenues in rolling stock, signaling and automation industry. For this, I would like to call upon Mr. MC Chauhan, ex-GM from Indian Railways. I request you, sir, to please kindly take your seat on the dais. Mr. MC Chauhan with a distinguished 40 years career in the Indian Railways, and he has contributed significantly to various aspects including management, railway operations and infrastructural projects. Very warm welcome to you, sir. Let's move on to another panelist of the session, Mr. Devendra Dutta Mishra, sir, ED Maha Metro. I request you, sir, to please kindly join with the dignitary on the dais. Mr. Mishra is currently serving as the Executive Director at Maha Metro in Pune, is an accomplished professional with over 31 years of diverse experience in rail infrastructure. Very warm welcome to you, sir. Let's move on to another panelist, Mr. Mangal, Head-Hitachi Rail and Director-Hitachi India. I request you, sir, to please kindly join with the dignitary on the dais. Mr. Mangal, Head of Hitachi Rail in the Green Energy Mobility Sector and Director at Hitachi India Private Limited, brings over 34 years of expertise in leading organizations through sustainable growth and transformation. We have with us Mr. Dhingra, sir, Corporate Advisor. He is the moderator of this session. I request you, sir, to please kindly join with the dignitaries on the dais and moderate this session. Mr. Dhingra, a corporate advisor in the rail and metro sector, previously served as a chief country representative India at Bombardier Transportation with over 28 years of experience. He excels in business, rail and metro. Now I hand over the mic to the moderator of the session to please chair and moderate the session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think post lunch I am seeing less number of people here. I think people are still taking lunch outside, or they have gone to a minor sleep.
Actually, we are already getting very late with the session.
I know. But thanks to you, I think we are able to manage some time loss has been managed. So don't worry, we are 4 panelists. So we'll take care of the balance time. So thank you. Post lunch, thank you to my panelists to be on this discussion today. And let's try to make this panel discussion lively. I'm really happy to have these kind of panelists here who have got really good experience in the field of railways, from the industry, from the railways, and that is the way I think it should be, because we can have the views of both the sides. So first, I think I will straight away go to Mr. Chauhan. Mr. Chauhan, since morning we have been listening from various panelists on the freight side, how we have to do on the freight side, how we can improve the freight. And we have a target of doing 3,000 million ton. We are still at 1,500. We have 5 years time. How will we do it?
Good afternoon to everyone. Actually, freight. Our GDP growth is at present 6 to 8%, and cargo movement has to be 1.4 to 1.5 times. So we have to, cargo movement would be about 9,000 million ton by 2030, and railways share at present is out of 5,000, only 1,500, that is 28%. By 2030, our target is that cargo movement by railways should be 35%, and by 2047 it has to be 45 to 50%, because lot of our carbon emission, climate change, from road to rail percentage share has to be increased to reduce the carbon emission. And railways has taken manifold steps. First is augmentation of line capacity enhancement. So works which have been sanctioned and are being sanctioned, these has to be improved. Then it has to be expedited. Then automatic signaling works because it would push more trains in one block section. So your line capacity would be increased. This is also on high priority area. With the introduction of more trains in one block section, power requirement would go up. And with the introduction of Vande Bharat, power requirement is very high. So present existing system, 25 kV traction system, is being augmented to 2 into 25 kV traction system in high density routes and high utilized routes. So this is one of the action being taken. Then there would be multi-fold requirement of coaches, locomotives and wagons. This year, for 1200 locomotives, 9,000 horsepower, order has been placed to Siemens. These would be manufactured at the Hot Warsaw and would be maintained in 4 workshops. Assembly would be done at the hall, that would be done by railway personnel, and maintenance would be done by railway personnel. Design would be done by Siemens. So these locomotives would haul 4,500 ton train at 120 kmph speed. Then another order is being placed to BLW for 6,000 horsepower, about 600 locomotives, out of which 500 would be utilized for freight trains and 100 would be utilized for passenger trains in push-pull mode. Basically, Delhi-Havda route and Delhi-Bombay route, push-pull mode, these trains would be run at the speed of 160 kmph. Then beside this, our production units have been geared up to increase because there would be multi-fold increase in requirement of locomotives by 2030. It is assessed that locomotives would be requirement would be about 1,600. So accordingly, capacity of production unit has been increased. Then comes to the train protection. Kavach, it is being introduced, it is being implemented at the rate of 3,000 km per year. And next year onwards, it will be implemented at the rate of 5,000 km per year. 2 more firms have been basically given approval for this. So then their 5G would be utilized, and then LTE based mobile train radio communication system is being implemented. So all these, then traffic facility works. Traffic facility works have been prioritized. Then similarly, coal routes, there are coal mining where line are to be built up, these are prioritized. Then feeder routes to dedicated freight corridors, these are also being prioritized. Then 100 Gati Shakti terminals, because you require more terminals. Then about there is a procurement of wagons has been increased from this year onwards, and 2.86 lakhs wagons would be required. So all these actions have been taken by railways to ensure that by 2030 we would achieve our cargo share would be 30%, 35%.
Yeah. But Chauhan Sahab, let me give a different perspective here. You know, on one side, railways have taken such a major decision to procure so many locomotives, so many train sets, whether it is a 60 kph, Vande Bharat. They are increasing the production level of factories, which is RCF, MCF and ICF. They are also buying so many wagons. But I am hearing in the last article which I have seen in Times of India, where they said the speed on the existing railway network has come down. The freight, it has come down to 25 from 27. And even in the passenger traffic, the freight, the speed has come down. We today have almost 6,000 trains running, 4,000 are freight trains, 2,000 are passenger trains. And more Vande Bharat are adding on the main network. Do you think we will be able to improve the speed? Do we have the capacity to introduce so many coaches, so many trains on this network?
Yes. Augmentation of capacity. See, now 5,000 kilometers of track is being laid per year. And it is further being augmented. Okay. Then dedicated freight corridors. Eastern dedicated freight corridor has been fully commissioned. Western DFC would be commissioned by March 2024. I am giving one example. Yeah. When I was GM North Central Railway, we were struggling to cope up with the punctuality of Mail Express trains, 50%. And now on North Central Railway, punctuality after this commissioning of Eastern DFC, punctuality has improved to 80% because 55 pairs of trains has been switched over from this NCR route to dedicated freight corridor. So it will increase the speed. And then DFC is speed potential is same because all the freight trains are running at the speed of 100 kmph. What happened when there was mixed running of trains? Freight trains were running at the lower speed and mail express were also being pushed there so that overall average speed was reduced. So with these steps, what has been taken to augmentation of capacity, more than bottlenecks, number of real flyovers have been being made so that in yard there is not capacity. Bypass have been made. Okay, so all these actions have been taken. I am sure that 50 kmph for average speed of freight trains would be improved. With these
Chauhan Sahab, I accept
steps.
your argument for this eastern or western dedicated freight corridors. What will happen to the other freight corridors, other traffic? There the speed will definitely come down.
Freight, corridors, lot of works have been sanctioned, say quadrupling works, not even 6th line, 5th and 6th line, where there is a high density network, high utility line network, even 6 lines are being sanctioned. So with the, when you are laying so much line capacity, you are developing 5,000 kilometer per annum, and that is being increased to 8,000 kilometer per annum. So definitely your capacity, will improve. So when you would have less trains and more capacity, so definitely your capacity of the passenger trains would also increase, and other sections also, freight trains speed would increase.
Good, very good. Now let me
Only
come-
one,
Yeah,
I differ on one subject.
please.
Actually, there was need of 3 more dedicated freight corridors,
Yes.
which are not being sanctioned.
Correct.
Because what happened, advantage of DFC is that Eastern DFC we have only one control center, Prayagraj. However, in normal case, there are 30-40 divisions. And suppose one controller does mistake, he enters the train, the passenger train and another goods train. So this creates the traffic chaos. But it is centralized traffic control. And Western DFC there would be Ahmedabad. So DFC would pay more dividends as compared to the laying of multiple tracks. Because I was there in Bombay, we were running in my 2 years tenure, we have added 200 suburban trains. Reason was because all suburban trains run at the same speed potential. So you can push more trains. When one train is running at 40 kmph, another train is 130 kmph, so you cannot increase the capacity.
So you also agree that there is a need of additional freight corridors?
Additional freight
Yeah,
corridors.
that's good. Now let me come on the technology side. I think my friend Mangal is there from Hitachi. Hitachi is one of the top companies in the field of rail technologies, whether it's a rolling stock or signaling. So Mangal, would you like to share about what Hitachi is doing outside India and also what are their plans for India for these technologies?
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting me on this panel, and thank you for the question. So just to build on what Mr. Chauhan said, so Indian Railways is adopting technology, especially in the area of interlocking. So solid state interlocking or electronic interlocking, I think the first company started doing was Ansaldo STS Italy, and now it is Hitachi Rail STS. So far we have converted, equipped around 1,200 stations. And I think that is what freed up the capacity from the high density and highly utilized network, and supporting this, not only the safety, but also the augmentation of capacity, as well as creating the CTC at Tundla, which is, you are used to. Yeah. So I think that is a great technology combining automatic signaling, interlocking, MS DAC and AFTCs working simultaneously to make sure that if one fails, the other is there to support. So the result has been phenomenal on this corridor, and so that is one area of technology. Of course, you are the first one to bring ETCS level 1 on Gatiman route between Nizamuddin and Agra, and of course, after we handed over, we don't know, what really is the situation, but yeah, that is what was helping to take the trains to 160 plus speed, and I think now the idea is to put Kavach, and we wish that the companies which are working on it together with railways bring about the same level of technology and speed up the implementation, and also take the speed potential from what it is today to something like 200 kmph. So that is one of the requirement where we are supporting, because as 1,200 interlockings are there, so most of the routes are done by Hitachi on these HDN and HUN. So we are now linking the interlocking with the Kavach. So that is also very important activity. So far there is no standard interface available, and EU links has been adopted now. So after this we'll have to do a lot of trials, and which is under implementation. So we will support Kavach as the provider of interlocking and the EU links interfaces. Then moving on to lot of talk on DFC. So the Western DFC, the phase 1 is almost completed, and we commissioned the CTC at Ahmedabad, the OCC at Ahmedabad, and we also implemented the train management system, which is basically does the same function as the COA of Indian Railways. So the entire signaling system on DFC is coming from Japan. Phase 1 is from Hitachi, and phase 2 will be from Kyosan, but we do the entire ETCS level 1 ground side and onboard for the entire corridor. On top of that, we are also brought in now the new digital technology to do remote monitoring and diagnosis of all the signaling, at least to start with, of all the signaling assets. So basically, bringing all what is already being done by the individual system, say interlocking or MS DAC, and other systems, point machine, signals, everything, and create a complete data lake, and then carry out the data analytics and use different algorithms to predict the failure of these systems, and also provide a dashboard to all the operators, the station masters and the OCC, and also equip the maintenance staff to carry out the maintenance. Obviously, by doing this, we will preempt, if there is any maintenance requirement or certain equipment is going to fail. That is one part, but so this will minimize the failures. Preempting and taking appropriate action, minimize the failures, and on top of that, if there is a failure and maintenance has to be carried out, so we'll know exactly, so using the systems that we have, which we are adopting, so we'll exactly pinpoint where the maintenance has to be carried out in terms of what exactly has to be replaced. So it will be available on a handheld device for the maintenance staff, to carry with them and then carry out this maintenance there and then. So this will minimize the requirement of maintenance staff, as well as, bring the availability of the whole system to a greater level, and make sure that, the system continues to operate at the desired speed. So this is second part. I will not go to the metro side, because let's talk about railways first. So the next one that we are working on is the high speed. I think most of you know that. So Hitachi is one of the leading partner of JR East, Japan Railway East in Japan, and the same technology, proven technology, same set of systems is being implemented here. So we play the same crucial role. But of course, Japan Rail East is the kind of Indian Railways of Japan. So they own the complete solution. They are the proprietary ownership of everything, and we are their technology partner. So we are implementing that as well. So this is some of the technologies that we have. And globally, of course, our focus is on making sure the sustainable transport system, is made available to the operators. So we have a huge focus on sustainability. Right now we are, wherever the investment is happening, we are offering hybrid trains or battery operated trains. And not only providing the assets, but also doing the predictive asset management, and also using digital technologies to optimize the life and predict the failures. So the same technology which we are using elsewhere is also being brought to India. And to close my initial remarks, so we also brought in a technology to Indian Railway through MCF, which is an onboard devices, onboard system, condition monitoring system of the entire bogie components, motors and the bearings. So we put some sensors on each coach and make it smart, so they capture all the vibrations, and then we analyze these. So vibration is the first signature of any equipment, and we access the entire data, and the sensors are self-powered, so they harness their own energy from the vibration and then capture the vibration, which they also do some kind of edge computing and give some key alerts. And then the majority of the data is moved onto the cloud, so where we perform detailed analysis using algorithm and provide throughout the life of the journey of the train, not only the vibration analysis data and the outcome on the wheels, axles, traction motor, bearings, journals, everything. And so we created certain kind of indices, and this helps to predict whether everything is healthy, or it started to create a problem, or it is already moved to a point where it needs replacement, or it is absolutely critical that it can cause accident. So these kind of gradations are there, which is helping railways now to understand truly how their rolling stock is operating.
So Mangal, you mentioned about the high speed. I think majority of people who are sitting here would like to know, when is this high speed trains are going to come to India? And especially the trains are coming from Japan for rolling stock, as well as the signaling technology is also coming from Japan. And what are the plans that you see today, and what are the localization plan of these items in India?
So as I said, this is a Japan Rail East system, complete. So it is not just product or rolling stock, it's a complete system. So the complete system is being implemented as it is. Of course, you have to make sure that the Indian environment, the Indian climate, the dust, temperature, humidity, whatever impact that will have on the performance, so all those modifications will have to be done. And definitely we see that a large number of modifications are required. So that is first activity which has been studied and is already under implementation. The second is the access, the land access, which was very good in Gujarat side, and there was enormous delay on the Maharashtra side for the obvious reason that we know. And the work started, the civil contractor started the work, and I think we all hear that majority of piers and the viaduct is now getting ready at least. The track work has started. The next will be the electrification, for which the tenders are invited and they are getting finalized as we talk. And the pre-work on signaling, OCC, has already started. Pre-work because we have to work together with JR to do the design. Whatever design changes are required to suit Indian requirement, that is the pre-work. And similarly, the pre-work on anticipating the requirements or changes on the rolling stock, that was completed last year. So now the final awards of these contracts should happen. Rolling stock, signaling, operational control center in 23-24. So that is the target. Since this is the first of its kind project, and the visibility or the planning so far is not so clear, what is the overall market that we will see on the high speed. So the first is to make this project successful. So definitely, that needs enormous planning, enormous coordination between different, and then as per the Indian tendering requirement, Indian transparency tendering requirement, you need to have more than one bidder. So to get, from this kind of a system, to get more than one bidder is not the policy in Japan. Japan is kind of a ecosystem, which works together, hand in hand. And of course, the client, the JREs decides, the pricing. This is the price I'm going to give you. And if there are any changes, they on their own give the price increase or, any, so which is very different than, the implementation way in Japan and India is very different, and that causes a lot of confusion. So where do I put my risk and, contingency? Should I add into my cost, or should I, my client will automatically pay me, what happens in Japan? So India, we want to ultimately arrive at L1, and L1 has to be as per the tender requirement. So all these things are getting resolved, and now we are almost there in terms of award of the system packages. The EW, the other package, which is the construction or the installation of signaling on the ground and telecom on the ground. So that is part of the entire signaling package and rolling stock package. So this is the current status, and we are all very eager that this should happen fast, and let's continue to support that.
Thank you, Mangal. You see, tactfully he has not said which year the metro high-speed trains will come. Okay, let me come to Mr. Mishra. Mr. Vijay, you have got experience of the rolling stock manufactured by railways, and now from the metro you're also having experience of the rolling stock manufactured by the private player. So I just would like to have two specific questions from you. One is that there has been localization requirement for all the metros, 60%, 70%. Do you think the vendor base available in India is able to meet this kind of requirement? What are the quality challenges you have seen it? And what are the quality challenges and workmanship you have seen it from the rolling stock supplier perspective when you started using the trains in the metros where you are involved? Mishra ji.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. It is very relevant question, and like Mr. Mangal was talking about, this was a question that high-speed rail coming, and he rightly told that complete package, system package is right now coming from Japan, the full stop. But story begins after this project. As he rightly told that if we implement this project successfully, this will create ecosystem. Now next step comes, orbit changes, then we will talk about 10,000 kilometers high-speed rail. Right now it is 500 kilometers, but India deserves minimum 10,000 kilometers of high-speed rails, bullet train projects. And then story begins. And then, as you rightly asked, so same is the situation with the metro system here. Right now we are at the stage when 850 kilometers of metro system are already there, more than some 3,000 coaches, metro cars are there. Next 7 years, up to 2030, if I am roughly around 1,500 kilometers of metro system is going to be further added. So further more than 4,000, 5,000 metro coaches are going to be added. So it is challenging phase, and now very clear government of India policy. Bullet train project is exception. Otherwise, now Make in India is very clear government policy. 75% of the metro cars have to be manufactured absolutely in real terms in India. I give example of my project. Pune Metro is 31 kilometers, total 34 train sets of 3 car formation, means 1 not 2 metro cars are basically in phase 1. So this is given to Titagarh Works Limited, and first time it is aluminum car body. We decided we will go over the aluminum car body. Titagarh was the first. Earlier they had no experience of metro coaches, but of course they had acquired some 7-8 years back one Firema company in Italy. So Firema already they had basically manufactured for the Roma metro, and they were experienced. So that basis of that we went for, and successfully initial three trains were manufactured and there. and then further trains are delivered, and we have delivered it successfully. So 27 trains already in operational. We have commissioned already. Revenue operation is almost, except some 3-4 kilometer is balanced, and balance 8 trains are also getting completed next 3-4 months. So as you rightly asked, there has been very serious challenge when because when Italy it came, by and large most of the vendors, although they decided, including battery and this basically our electrical panels, cubicles, but from very beginning our mindset was very clear: we have to face tomorrow. So we emphasize that quite possibly, like interiors of the train, any bulk item, all these vendor, we insisted we should decide. Like even our their brake system and HVAC, they are manufacturing in India. We rather imported the items from here, exported, basically transported from India to Italy, like that. So except propulsion system, that is from Belco, because we can't, right now, frankly speaking, in India still have to mature for the propulsion. That is the area where still we have to basically mature. So we are still depending on the outside. Otherwise, almost everything has been manufactured. That is good thing. Now question comes that bigger, like nor is there brake system or any HVAC system or such system is okay. Very structured vendors are available. But rolling stock is a kind of some 1800 items are there. Challenge is even the cables, basically the conduits, cable harnesses, and then I mentioned about this, our cubicles, nut, bolts, everything, flooring items. So there we face challenges, and it is very natural. So I only want to correlate, to cut a short story, with my experience in the railway, particularly railway electrification. When in 90s, sir can better tell, day was there control cables, even our electrification, not a single type of control cable for SCADA, our substation, even those were imported items. So credit goes, we don't, railway, unfortunately, we are not basically getting stories of others. Power sector, particularly NTPC, Power Grid, what fantastic last 35 years, what contribution they have made in indigenation. They changed the face. Today, even Indian cable manufacturers, control cable, they are exporting. Last 15 years, now story has turned. Power cables as well as control cables. And that has happened through a lot of hand-holding. NTPC did not just depended blaming the contractor, ki wo, say L&T is the contractor, BHEL is the contractor, they are failing, they are poor. Usual our habit, we will just take the vendors and suppliers and our adversaries, just blame 7:38, late hours, we will come from office, then we will show the frustration, oh, vendor ne pagal kar rakha, isne kar diya. We have to associate, we have to co-partner with them, we have to handhold them, and I gave example of NTPC. Trust me, either Trichy, Bhopal, anywhere place where their vendors were there, they established their team, they helped, guided in how to set up the labs, quality control. Because fact is that, you like or dislike, your basically assets are going to perform, they are as reliable, or your headache will be the least, as much is depending solely on the quality of the basically assets supplied from the manufacturer. Rolling stock is basically, if it is quality asset, your life is going to be easy as an end user, as an owner. So that is my way of saying it is a challenging time. It is a beginning, but metro authorities already they have taken responsibility. Still we are doing that. Every day is a new day. Particularly, I am talking about ancillary items. We should copy the model of Maruti. Like Maruti, we can say, I think Maruti is the basically car manufacturer who can in true sense tell that they are Indian company. Other companies are still depending so many items, even including electronics from outside. So that is the example. And if we want to change the orbit and meet this challenge, we have to accept this situation and we have to facilitate. That is my way. Second thing, you talked about workmanship. I like to tell this is the greatest challenge, particularly like bigger company like Alstom or such companies, they have advantage. They have the power, muscle power, they have more. So, and people take pride still in India, I am working in MNC. But other Indian companies, they have the challenge. Manpower, this was the, rather more than items, this was the serious problem. Like our rolling stock metro coaches, they are having more than 1,000 of circuits. Getting basically skilled in the basically commissioning of the train convergent with the circuits, it is challenging task. Any even technically very skilled person also takes time to learn the particular customized train circuits. Once he get trained, somebody will poach. There is a basically very serious scarcity of the trained people. So this is the challenge. So that also OEMs are facing. So these are the two areas. Certainly challenges gives a solution. Just I am highlighting that it is possible. Many industries have dealt, many examples are there. So emulating those, we have to address these challenges.
I think the second point about the challenge about the manpower you have rightly raised. I think there are two professors who are sitting in this room, and this is something I think we all have to see to it, because you know the way the railway expansion is taking in India, especially the coaches, locomotives, electrification, track laying, we do not have the right kind of a skill set of engineers available today. So these are the challenges which is being faced by the industry, challenges which is being faced by the ultimate user. As you said, the quality becomes an issue. So I think from Mangal and Mr. Chauhan, I would like them to give their views on it. How do you think this challenge of the skill set of people, trained skill set of people with this expansion can be addressed?
See, Dr. Manoj Chaudhary ने बताया था that they are providing training, and training they are covering so many sectors, not only Indian Railways, other sectors also. So first to develop skill is more training. And skill development center, government has made this one separate ministry for skill development. That step is being taken. Another is more predictive, basically directed maintenance. We have to go through, because manpower, the way we are increasing assets on Indian Railways and metros, we have to go maintenance, not human intervention based. It has to be directed maintenance. And DFCL is one of the example. They are hot axle monitoring, wild impactor. So that already they have taken. So similarly, we have to take these steps on Indian Railways, OMRS. Indian Railways are also taking this step, so that staff requirement would be less, because you are not getting so many staff.
See, aspiration level of the technicians as well as engineers have gone up because of the huge demand. And I will share my experience with you. We normally say that the normal salary increases are 6 to 7%, but in this rail industry it is double digit. And when you have double digit kind of increment which is taken annually, and as Mr. rightly said, the other companies are ready to take you because of the skill set you have gained. These are the real challenges people are facing today in India. Mangal, you have some points to add on that?
No, I just want to make one point, and this I've been a strong proponent of this, that we talked about Indian companies and the technology, and we start from the far end. We start from operation, maintenance, and then we move towards commissioning and manufacturing, and then engineering and design. So I think if we cover the entire value chain in India, I think that is one place where we can not only reduce cost, but also create a lot of skills, across. So rolling stock engineer doesn't just need to know the maintenance, he need to know the design as well. So we need to have this complete curriculum, and who else can do better than the Indian companies themselves. So obviously skill development and universities, they have a role to play, to give the basic and the fundamental education. But I think few examples I'll share, in Hitachi also and in my previous organization. So we would pick up the graduates from various universities and put them through a 1 year of rigorous training. Multifunctional, multi-site, and rigorous training. And this is like honing their skills and trying to convert them into usable engineers. So this is one of the most important, and it means, you need to have all the elements of the value chain in your company so that you can motivate them to stay. So even if they want to move from design to commissioning, so they can move within the company. If you don't provide them the opportunity after learning operation and maintenance, they will move to some other company, to do the manufacturing or to do the design engineering. So I think we need to create that kind of ecosystem where we can provide this kind of scope or motivation to our engineers.
Yes, sir, if you permit, I will raise this one thing.
Sure, Ji.
Just extension of that. With most of us being engineers, we should be humble to accept that after coming out of our engineering degree or when we came in the industry, how valuable we were to the industry, our knowledge. Let us admit. So this is very serious gap that is very concerning. And so on one side, sir is also here, it is a real challenge, particularly technical area, how to make the basically outcome going students and this one. So preferably, but better experts are, and I'm not expert, but why I like to say, sir, better now strategy should change that technical degree qualification education, a significant time should be spent in the industry, either internship training, that will, and on-job training. Second thing I like to, sir, highlight with my experience, with like our metro, they are a new organization, we are acquiring a lot of new people from the directly recruit from college. My experience is, initially, 5, 6, 10 years, young boys who are coming, they are so excited to learn. And they don't go for the money. More important is how we can motivate them, allow them to commit the mistakes and learn from their mistakes. So that is the basically lot which can be used a lot, particularly in the technician group, initial engineers group, who are basically ready to do the job by hand. So those students on one side, they have better technical education. On one side, we should focus that young engineers, young technicians, we harness this one. And a lot of challenge comes on the management, that I have to spend a lot of time with the young people initially on the shop floor. I have to set example myself. That leadership will be needed. I can't just be led back that, oh, I have deputed 10 people, they will do the job. I will probably have. So that is basically some, I am not sure about, but with my experience, I like to add this.
Thank you, Mishra ji.
Elaborate. DMRC is good example. They have developed good training institute. If you say they have developed modern room also, OG parts, power supply part, signaling part, telecom part, and they provide training there, in-house training. Not only DMRC is providing training to their newly recruited, they are providing outside also, rather from foreigner, abroad also people are coming to take training. So we have to develop facilities like this. And as regard to indigenization, I would further
please.
mention,
Yeah.
this at present, 4 companies are manufacturing metro coaches in India. We are exporting even metro coaches, and DMRC phase 1, we have exported the coaches. So a lot of indigenization has been done. IATS, Automatic Train Supervision System, with the help of BL, has developed by DMRC. Then platform skin door have been developed. Simulator training simulator for metro has been, metro operators has been developed indigenously. Then another big step, that is the basically game changer, CBTC. That MOU has been signed with BL. DMRC has signed MOU recently in September 2023. And with this, cost would be reduced. This is the major step is being taken by DMRC for indigenization.
Good, thank you. Now I think friends from the audience, would you like to have some raise question to our panelist? Sir.
Not really a question, but something very important that I must say that we have to add. Firstly, I will begin by Tagore's quotation. You cannot cross the sea by merely standing and staring at water. After the Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya set up, I know there were many questions that you raised, and it prompted me to stand up and answer. All our BTech programs have mandatory internship after first year, after second year, after third year, totaling 13 weeks. The 8th semester of complete 26 weeks is at industry. Therefore, out of a 4-year BTech program, 39 weeks are spent at the industry. Therefore, to say that people do not have exposure, I just want to say, because we have to cross the bridge from both sides, right? First. Second, I request you to please visit us and see the university, talk to the graduates. Nowhere else you will find the graduates who already have done significantly large number of courses related to rail engineering. Precisely the point that you mentioned, graduates are not employment ready. What did we do is, we set up this university because it is government's initiative. We set up this university to be industry driven. Our curriculum is defined by the industry, Ministry of Railways, production units, companies like Siemens, Alstom, L&T, Deutsche Bahn, whoever participated, we defined curriculum based on that so that graduates can be produced for the railway industry. Therefore, I invite you to do that. From our side, we are actually covering a lot of gap. And to anybody present here, I can assert very openly and say that graduates that we have are the best in the sector. They also need, for example, 8th semester and orientation to be done at your pace. And therefore, please offer them the possibilities to whichever industry. Hitachi, we are already in touch. You mentioned a very important point of metro rail. Metro has around 50,000 employees working, Delhi Metro and various cities. Right? We are in the process to sign an MOU with them. Delhi Metro Rail Academy and Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya will together offer a specialization at BTech level in metro rail technology and also start a new program, MBA next year, in metro rail management, so that working professionals in the sector, 50,000 of them, can upskill themselves. Just wanted to give this information to you. You will see in the news very soon. Thank you.
Let's compliment our efforts, which is made by the university. Thank you, sir. Any more questions from the audience? I think time for us to conclude, ma'am.
Yes, sir,
because you have
please.
to go to the next session now. Thank you.
We have to
Thank you, my
move forward
panelists.
for the awards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, panelists. I request Mamta ma'am to please kindly come on the dais and give the memento to our honorable dignitaries on the dais. Mr. MC Chauhan, sir, ex-GM Indian Railways. And to Mr. Devendra Mishra, sir. Mr. Mangal Dev, sir. And to Mr. Harsh Dhingra, sir. Thank you so much, honorable dignitaries on the dais.
Thank you, Johnson.
Now, thank you so much, dignitaries.